everybody. It's that time again. You are live. No, we're not.
From the depths of the internet, a podcast did arise. A trio of loons with cigars in their eyes. They've invaded the world with their smoky surprise. The Cigar Loons, they're oh so wise. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. With their witty banter and infectious glee, they've captured hearts, you see. They're more than just smokers, they're a family, united by cigars, a brotherhood free. Invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. They've got the knowledge, the passion, the flair, a podcast powerhouse beyond compare. So light up a stogie and join the affair. The Cigar Loons are always there. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail.
Well,
What is up?
was that just me, or was we having some glitches?
I think it was just you, brother.
It wasn't, because it faded out a time or two, so I'm just making sure. Just so you know,
Get on my end.
it went quiet a time or two. Yeah.
Well, hello and good evening. Of
Yeah,
course,
that's up.
it's Tuesday.
Is it?
It is. It's Tuesday. Cigar Loons Podcast.
Oh, look, there's
Um,
Ash.
I want to say hello, of course, to. I want to say hello, of course, to Aaron from LaVega Cigars. So, hi, Aaron.
Yeah.
And welcome, of course, to the Cigar Loons Podcast tonight, my brother.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me, guys.
Hello to everyone, of course, on Instagram, YouTube, of course, Rumble, and thank you for joining us. And of course, it's going to be a great show tonight as we talk to Aaron and find out more about LaVega Cigars. Of course, we're asking him some questions, the three of us, and getting Aaron's take on the industry at the moment. Of course, this gatekeeping shit that we're seeing at the moment. Of course, the different pay-to-play things as we hear in the media. But let's go around, and of course, I'll start with you, Matthew, and then of course we'll go, of course, to you, Aaron.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Grump. And what cigars have we pulled out tonight? I won't be smoking, of course, on the show because it's too warm for me at the moment. And I can't be smoking when it's too warm because it does my head in. And I've got hay fever as well, which isn't great. So I can't taste nothing. Yeah.
It's a great combo right
It's
there.
not COVID, before anyone says. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But of course, let's go down and get what everyone's smoking tonight.
Yeah, I got a LaVega Il Terzo or Terzo, however you say it.
Terzo.
Terzo. There we go. I wasn't sure if you went with the Spanish pronunciation of the Z, where it just becomes an S.
No, everything in my company is named in Italian, with the exception of the name itself. LaVega is actually paying homage to Las Vegas. I just dropped the S's, smushed the word together, but everything else is named in Italian for the most part.
Okay. There you go. Good to know. This is Mexican San Andreas, Dominican Olor Binder, Criollo 98, Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania
What's up,
broadleaf
Phil?
filler. The cold draw was fucking delicious chocolate. I've got some pepper and a little bit of sweetness coming in there on the beginning here, so enjoying it so far.
Cool.
God, he's flirting.
So-
We ain't been on 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Anthony.
That's a bit bold,
Aaron,
brother.
of course. We'll
Just say,
So, Aaron,
hey, I
of
gotta
course,
stay out
we'll
of
go to
trouble.
you,
I
my
don't
brother.
have a LaVega. I gotta stay out of trouble. I didn't get the memo. I just have a Cameroonian torpedo is all I got. Nothing fancy. So there you go. And coffee.
Can't go wrong with coffee.
It keeps me out of trouble for the most part.
Whiskey.
It don't always work, but a lot of times it does. So,
Aaron, what are you smoking on?
and what are you
Well, we'll
smoking, sir?
I'm finishing. It's a new test run for limited series for next year. When I do limited series, I try to test a bunch of different blends to see which one really goes out well. The first 2 limited series that I did, first one was called the Nano. Second one was the Seguido. And then this year's current limited series is the La Trilogia, which is a Mexican San Andreas, Ecuadorian Connecticut barber pole. So because I release a limited series on February 4th of every year, which is paying homage to the start of my band, we officially became a band on February 4th. I test them ahead of time, so whatever I choose, I can have ready to go by February 4th. But I just try a bunch of different ones, and then whichever one I think is going to go good, we put out there.
Love it.
Cool.
You get up.
Cool.
This is a burst
So,
up
of
on my
course,
tag.
for anyone, of course, who's now here watching tonight, of course, and this is the very first time seeing you, Aaron, on a podcast. They haven't watched any other podcast. They're just going to the Cigar Lounge tonight and seeing you. Give them a brief breakdown of who you are and about LaVega Cigars. Give them a brief intro to who you are, my brother.
Brief. Well, you kind of tying my
Hell.
hands with brief.
No, we done told you your hands ain't tied. We done told you that.
Yeah, brief. You got me with brief.
Yeah.
No,
And
No, I'm-
then he told you that.
I'm a small town kid. Grew up in Mercer, Pennsylvania, which is actually where I'm at now. I'm headquartered in Mercer, Pennsylvania. After high school, about six months after high school, I moved to Las Vegas. Went to Le Cordon Bleu. Got my associate's degree to be a chef. Got my diploma from Le Cordon Bleu International in Paris, and then just spent, probably about 17 years professionally in the kitchen. While I was in the kitchen, I also got back into my music. So I had a recording studio down by the Las Vegas Strip. I had a band, it was Mead Avenue. So there was a small street where my recording studio was on, and I named it after the street. And then moved back to Pennsylvania and started smoking way more cigars because I had more time. I wasn't stuck 14, 16 hours in the kitchen. And then got me to the point where I'm at now.
Mm.
Okay. So, of course, I know you spent years at Five Diamond Resort chef, of course, as you were in Las Vegas. Blending premium cigars is a lot like crafting, of course, high-end culinary dishes. It's all about the balance, of course, transitions, flavor profiles. How much does your culinary background influence the way you selected the tobaccos and constructed the blends, like, of course, the Il Primo or, of course, the El Secondo? How was it you found it, of course, with being in that background to then coming into tobacco?
The both my culinary background and my music background they're both 50-50 on how I operate and proceed in the cigar company, because both of those backgrounds have something that they give to what I'm doing now. Matter of fact, I say without both of those, I wouldn't be able to run LaVega the way I do. So because I was trained, well, let's just face it, by the French, they're very snooty, especially when it comes to food. Selecting the tobaccos, I would say without that background, I can't say that I would select it the way I do. Just the way I was trained, not just from the French school, but from the working with these chefs, which of course were from all over the world. I mean, I had French chefs, German chefs, I had chefs from London, I had chefs from Italy, I had the best of the best that trained me.
Yep.
And everyone else that I work with, not just them, but all the chefs that I work with on the line or in banquets and buffets and everywhere I worked, it's a culmination of the best. And it's, I mean, it takes it's a huge factor in how I do cigars.
It's interesting, nice. And like I say, with the amount of people that you learned under, of course, from all around, different takes, of course, with chefing, with Germany, of course, with, like you said, Italian, French, English, everyone. Now, of course, I want to get into more of the heavy rock, my brother, and of course, in the band. So tell us more about, of course, in the band days, the old sex, drugs, rock and roll days. Tell us more about that, my brother, and how that was for you, of course, being a rock musician.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't really remember a lot of it. It all kind of blurs at a certain point. I was the only one, and all the different lineups that my band had, because I mean, we not only had different lineups, we had different sounds as well. So when we started, let me see, it was me, my bass player Seth, and my guitar singer frontman Steven. We all worked in the restaurant together. And my singer Steven was, I mean, he was obsessed with Nirvana. Everything he did sounded like Nirvana. It was written like Nirvana, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I didn't want to be a Nirvana cover band. But when you go from that to the next lineup, which was with me, Seth, and the new guitar singer Joe, he was more into shoegaze, is what we call it. Shoegaze, when you stand on stage and you always stare down at your feet. That's where they got the term shoegaze. But it was more along the lines of like Imagine Dragons, I would say is probably that sound. And then then we got into the hard rock side of things, and then the alternative metal side of things. So in the third lineup, my guitar player was a kid named Blake, and he was just enthralled with death metal, which I can't fucking stand because I can't understand a word they're saying. And I like to groove with the music, but the riffs that this kid played were phenomenal. My singer at the time, Jeff, he was more into punk. So you had an interesting combination of music styles that we all did. And when you brought it together, it created what Meat Avenue was. And then in the next lineup, my brother joined and he became the bass player. So now you added a new style to it. And then the next lineup, we changed singers, and Georgie, he was just an old school rocker. He was about 15 years older than me. So he was, I mean, he definitely was that old school hard rock, heavy metal. But like for me, I'm more of, if I'm listening to, I listen to every style of music you can imagine. Like I make no hiding, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I have a playlist full of 90s shit because I'm an 80s 90s kid. I've got Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Backstreet Boy. Like I got all the stuff from the 90s. And then my rock playlist is all the bands like Stone Temple Pilots and Puddle of Mud, and like I got all those. And then I have my hard rock stuff. But I told you before we started, Def Leppard is my favorite band.
Yep.
Dave Cause is my favorite saxophonist. So I'm a jazz saxophonist, and I listen to a lot of jazz. Dave Cause, Mindy Bear, Michael Lington, Boney James. So I take a lot of what I did with saxophone and I turned it into drums. So it was a very interesting mashup of people. But we played with so many bands. Like I have to ask my wife because I don't remember. I mean, you see all the pictures hanging on my wall. Like there's pictures everywhere.
Yep.
Because these are memories that if I don't have the picture up, I don't remember them. But if you show me a picture, I can tell you everything about that. But I was also the only one in the band who was married, so I wasn't really into the drugs and the rock and roll and the sex and all that shit. Like after a show, I went out, I shook hands, I smiled for pictures, and then I went back to the bus. Everybody else kind of hung out there. But one city after another, man. Like you wake up, and you're in Seattle in one, you're in Spokane, then you're in San Fran, then you're in Reno, and you're like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at right now. You had to ask the driver because I have no clue. They all look the same at a certain point.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. It's like, of course, Metallica at the moment with what Metallica are doing with the 78 tour. Of course, being out, done the whole of the United States. Then, of course, they started Europe. Now they're finishing the final leg, of course, here in England. So I think they've just played Dublin. I think they play Scotland, then Cardiff, and then the very first week of July, they're going to be playing, of course, London. And that's the end of the 72 tour. And I can imagine it's going to be like that. But like you said, with, of course, the music being an 80s, 90s kid, I was born 86. So I know what it's like with the 80s music to the 90s, of course, listening to Nirvana come in, listening to Soundgarden. Then I'm listening, of course, to Megadeth, Black Sabbath. Then I'm listening to Motown, Simply Red, Gloria Estefan. Then my music taste just went all over the place, and my playlist it's just whacked with some of the stuff I listen to.
The 90s had great music of every genre. Like I don't care what genre. The 90s produced my opinion, some of the best music that we had out there. And you get after 2005, and it's like they're just trying to repeat what they did in the 90s, and it just doesn't sound right.
This new music doesn't do it for me. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut up for 5, and I'm going to let Matthew and Grumpy get some questions. And so, between you, Grump, or between you, Matthew, what have you got? What is it on your mind as you want to ask?
I'll be quick, but your music don't go far enough back, brother. You missed the good stuff.
Bro, I was born in 84, man. I can only go back so far.
No, it's all available. You just got to get back to the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, anything before disco. But no, when you were in the kitchen, man. I mean, I know. It sounds like you probably covered it all from, being the head cook and all, right down to working in those lines like you were talking about for events. So you had all that experience, but in the kitchen cooking, what was always one of your favorite things to prepare? Kind of what was your signature? Yeah, you're gonna know I did this kind of thing.
Well, I really enjoyed when there was this one restaurant that I worked in the Red Rock Resort and Spa, and it was a restaurant called Terra Rosa. The chef came over, was literally flown in from Italy. His name was Luigi. We didn't get along well back when I was there, but I respect the hell out of the guy now that I'm older and I understand what he was trying to do. But he always had us do either a daily special or a weekly special, and he gave us the opportunity to just create something that wasn't on the menu. And a lot of times when they did that, if a chef chose to do that, it's because they're looking for new dishes that could potentially go on the menu. And sometimes it was because we had an overabundance of food, so like we need to create a special to move this out. But a lot of times he wanted you to experiment. And I think the experimentation of it all, the artistic side of it, is what I really enjoyed. And I love to work with seafood. I think that using beef, using pork, using chicken, it's just overdone, it's overrated. But there's so much more to using fish, because let's face it, beef is beef. I mean, it's not, but you know what I'm saying? Like the taste of it, beef is beef. The quality changes.
So many ways you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing with chicken, same thing with pork. But with fish, man, you got so many, like if you use tilapia, I hate tilapia. I call it mudfish. I mean, because they literally feast on the bottom of the water. Right. But it has this real musty, like pungent flavor. And then you get something exotic like flounder. It's very soft. It's very flaky. Then you get Chilean sea bass. I mean, every single fish, even though it's fish, it has a different flavor, a different texture, different composition. I loved working with fish.
What's up, Mike? Leo? I see y'all in there. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah,
what you got there, Matthew? Yeah. Who else? Oh yeah, Robert's in
We've
there.
got Robert, of course. We got Theo, of course. DG, of course. We got Philip, of course. We got Anthony. So I to all them, of course, here on YouTube. I to everyone, of course, on Rumble.
Welcome.
So I want to say hi to everyone that's, of course, watching us there over on Instagram as well. And thank you for joining tonight. So yeah, go on, Matthew. Sorry.
No, you're good. Oh no, I was just showing off. I'm actually successfully holding a decent ash for the first time ever in my life. So I will call that a win for the construction of this cigar.
Yeah. The OCD didn't win.
Yeah, it's about to though. Don't worry, it's coming up. I don't want to wear it. But I was feeling good about it for a minute there.
There you go.
I wanted to bring up, we talked about pairings. I know Gaz got a different question about pairing later, but I'm drinking a cast strength whiskey tonight with this cigar. Figured it would hold up to it because it's a nice medium to full cigar. And so far so good. It's Rebel cast strength. It's like 120 proof, something like that. The wheated bourbon, so it's got some sweetness to it. Really pairs well with this. If you're gonna pair with, say, specifically this cigar, what are you gonna suggest somebody that's into bourbon to pair with it?
Well, that's it's a little difficult for me to assist in pairing of the harder stuff because I quit drinking quite a long time ago. But if you're getting into coffees or like wines, I was a wine sommelier. I never gave up wine, but I was never hooked on wine like that. And let's face it, anybody who's drank wine and drank a little too much, it's a hangover you don't want. So a lot of people don't go above and beyond when it comes to the wine, but I do like to pair ports and sherries. So I may be a small town country kid, but I have fine taste. We'll put it mostly because of my training and having access to all that kind of stuff. I actually have one. I leave it on my desk. I don't ever let anybody drink this because fuck them. But this is what I normally pair. This here is it's actually a sherry. It's Alvear, and it's a Solera 1927. This is what I would personally drink if I was smoking my Terzo. This is an extremely dark sherry. A lot of people confuse it with being a port. But the interesting part about this particular sherry is the Solera, the 1927. So in 1927, they came up with this, the concept of this particular sherry. And what they do is imagine a wall full of casks, okay, from top all the way to the bottom. normally when you pull for a vintage of port or sherry, like I'll say just a 10-year, a 20-year, a 40-year, 80 or whatever, it's not how old it is, it's the average of whatever's in there. When you get into the Solera, it starts to get interesting, because what they do is like they start with all the new at the top, but it all starts to go down to the bottom levels. They pull from the bottom. So even though we're in 2026, this 1927 still has remnants of the original batch from 1927 because of how they pull it. And this is some of the thickest, sweetest, like this shit's almost syrup, but this is what I would pair it with.
That sounds incredible. I've
No doubt.
messed around with sherries a little bit, not a ton, mostly sherry finished whiskeys, because I'm a big whiskey guy, obviously. But yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for that. Theo apparently says Malbec goes well as well with cigars. I'll have to check that out too. I'm not a big wine guy, but
So she has put there, would a good Malbec pair and pull out all of the good notes. So that's what Theo put there. In his, of course, if you like some Malbec. Okay. But to anyone who's watching, of course, if you've got a question, then please, of course, put it in the comments. And, of course, we'll get that out as well to Anthony. Matthew, you got anything else you want to ask at the moment?
Aaron.
Or you're still thinking what else you want to ask?
we can't hear him all of a
Aaron.
sudden. He's talking.
Can you hear me at all?
Oh,
Yeah,
there
we
you go.
can now.
Yep, we can
All
hear
of a
you.
sudden.
I can hear you. Yeah, there we go.
Interesting. No, I do want to comment on that on the comment that was asked about the Malbec.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it actually would pair very well, because it is considered a full-bodied red wine, and you'll get dark fruity notes, earth tones. I would say that would pair very well with the Terzo. However, because that Malbec is a full-bodied wine and the Terzo is a medium to full, I don't like to over pair, because all you're going to do is flood your palate. So I would say the stronger, personal opinion, the stronger your cigar, the lighter your drink. And what you want them to do is you want them to kind of meet in the middle. So I would say if you're gonna do the Malbec, I would actually do that with my Primo, which is more of a medium cigar as far as nicotine strength. And then you have the full body, so then it kind of averages out of like a medium plus overall, and you don't flood your palate with too much flavor.
That'd be this guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We've got a question from Ash
know
Report
something?
as well.
Yeah. Ash
Yeah.
Report wanting to know what you're different.
Okay,
So,
so
he's put, I'm
the
definitely interested in your cigars. Can you talk a bit about the different ones you have? So there you
yeah,
go.
so currently I have 5 in my core line. The Primo, the Secondo, and the Terzo were the first 3 that I did. In Italian, it means the first, the second, the third. It's how I chose these blends. The Primo is more of a medium strength. It's got a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Dominican binder, Nicaraguan, Colombian, and Pennsylvania broadleaf fillers. The Secondo is a very nice, spicy Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. It has a Dominican Olor binder, and it has Dominican, Nicaraguan, Pennsylvania broadleaf, and the rare Piloto Cubano tobacco. Now, with the Piloto Cubano, the Dominican Piloto, you got to be careful how much you use of that, because if you use too much, it tastes like you're smoking a bouquet of flowers, and that's just fucking gross. Nobody wants to smoke a bouquet of flowers. So I put a very little bit inside of that, just to give it more like a baker's spices and citrus undertone. The Terzo, which is what you're smoking, has the San Andreas Maduro wrapper, the Olor binder, and it has the Dominican Criollo 98. Now, I'm a huge fan of Criollo 98. Now, I've tried the 99, the 2011, 2012. Like, I've tried a variety of them. The 98 just hits right. The number 40 is the only Connecticut that I have. I don't believe in changing the wrapper of an existing blend and then calling it the same name. So I refer to I refer to these blends like, think of a band, right? And before the show, we were talking about, you know, Def Leppard being my favorite band. Imagine you had Def Leppard and Joe Elliott was no longer singing. It's not fucking Def Leppard anymore. That's what happens, in my opinion, if you change the wrapper. It is a completely different cigar. So I created a Connecticut. Now, I'm not a Connecticut smoker. I'm a Maduro smoker. But I had to create a Connecticut that I would smoke. On the first test, I was so happy with that. I called it the number 40 and released it on my 40th birthday. Now, that has an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, the Olor binder, and Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers. Mm-hmm. I'm not using a shade wrapper because a Connecticut shade, in my opinion, it leaves a very chalky, acidic aftertaste, and I don't like that. When you use the Ecuadorian Connecticut, it's real creamy. So let's face it. At the end of the day, you either love Connecticut's or you hate Connecticut's. There is no in between. Yep. But the way I did that particular Connecticut was it's created by a Maduro smoker for a Maduro smoker. So a mild cigar smoker will love it. A Maduro smoker can smoke it as like the last cigar of the night where they just don't want to be overloaded with power. The newest cigar that I have in the core line is called the Il Cane. We released that on Veterans Day this past year, and that was created in partnership with Dogs Inc. Now, if for anybody who doesn't know what Dogs Inc. is, they are a company out of, I believe, Tampa. I think they're located in Palmetto, Florida, but they're close enough to Tampa. And they train service dogs for veterans with PTSD at no charge to the veteran. So proceeds from that, I write checks every quarter for every one of those things sold, not just through my retailing partners, but through the lounge that we have here at our headquarters. So I write 2 checks to them. And that one has a, it is a good cigar. You should definitely try it. That one has a Colorado Corojo wrapper. It also has a Ecuadorian Habano binder, and it's got a couple undisclosed tobaccos, but the final third will change over in a whole new way because there is a touch of Peruvian tobacco inside. So that Peruvian is going to give off a sweetness that you don't normally get in a lot of cigars. But I mean, there's quite a bit of cigars that use Peruvian. One off the top of my head would be the Avo Synchro Nicaraguan. That has some Peruvian in it, and it's just enough sweetness to make that cigar a damn fine cigar. That's what made me fall in love with it.
Yeah. I don't mean to talk about a company like that, but that's the only cigar of theirs that I actually like. So maybe that's a Peruvian
I've seen
good thing for me.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of people use Peruvian, and sometimes I don't know if it's the blend of it, it doesn't come out great. Some that do use it, okay, you get that little bit of sweetness. It's just depending on the company that uses it. It's the same, of course, with Puerto Rican tobacco. There's a lot of people that are using Puerto Rican tobacco, of course, Costa Rican tobacco. It's the way of blending it to make it stand out. And some people don't, but the cigars sound really interesting, my brother. And like I say, it's great with what you've put out so far. And of course, I know Matthew's smoking tin. When I do get over to the States, I will be picking some up and trying them myself because, like I say, I definitely want to try them. Now, I know, of course, you mentioned about
now they have the
headquarters, and we know, of course, as we look through the social media, of course, we see LaVega Lounge. So tell us more about the Vega Lounge, the headquarters, and tell us about the lounge, because I know over the last couple of videos that I've seen, you've been working your bollocks off to put it together, to make it look nice outside, to have the area, you're dog friendly, which, brother, that stands out to me. I got two dogs. I love to sit in a cigar lounge with my dogs, or see someone else's dog walking around and be able to stroke it while I'm having a cigar. So tell us more about, of course, the Vega Lounge, my brother, and tell us about it.
Well, I'll tell you, my bollocks are on fire from building this shit, but it's all it all stems from that culinary training. You know, we were trained hospitality. That was everything. And in Las Vegas, I don't care what resort you work at. I don't care what restaurant you work at. Las Vegas is all about hospitality because you got people from all over the world visiting that. We have to be accommodating in every way, shape, or form to your nationality, your dietary restrictions. Like we have to have everything for everyone. So LaVega Lounge came about out of irritation. So I set up my headquarters right outside of my hometown in Pennsylvania, and I put a big ass sign out front, LaVega Cigar Co. And I had all these people for an entire year. I had all these people stopping, and they wanted to buy cigars. And I'm selling cigars to my cigars because I didn't have anything else. And I'm starting to get pissed off because I'm like, I'm not a retailer. I'm licensed, but this is taking me in a whole new way that I wasn't planning on doing. So it makes it confusing when you're reporting, and the government fucking wants their cut. So it's making everything hard. And I had a meeting going on. I had my team in here, and I had 2 guys stop and buy cigars. I had 5 people call me and ask me what time I closed. And my wife called me to one day, and she says, "Who keeps tripping these cameras?" And I said, "Jack, it's these people that want cigars." And she said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I says, "One more motherfucker shows up and I'm building the lounge." Bro, 10 minutes later, this dude walks through the door and is like, "I need 2 boxes of cigars." I said, "All right, fuck it, I'm done." 2 weeks later, that lounge was built, ready to go, open to the public. So now what I've done over the last year and a half, almost 2 years, is I set up the inside to be like a old school 1930s, 1940s gentleman's lounge, dark colors, wood floors, wood trim, leather furniture. I even have a custom fragrance that's in there. Outside, I wanted it to remind people of being over in Italy somewhere, being in the Mediterranean, sitting out on a closed down one-way street, when all the cafes bring out their furniture and they shut down the street for the day. Being in England, you might see that a lot, especially if you go to London. They shut those streets down and everybody brings everything out so you can sit on the street. And because I'm right near, a small back road, it was perfect. Well, we just had a pergola put in, and it's just becoming a fucking nightmare because, one of my neighbors, like all the neighbors in this area love this lounge, and except for one. And I'm going to go with the proper English terminology, and she's being a cunt, and it's pissing me off because now she's causing problems for me. And she called code on me, which in the area that I'm in, it's the village of Greenfield. We don't have code. We don't have, you don't need anything here. It's just an open range. You can do whatever you want to do. So I had to deal with the inspector today, and the only thing he could get me for was we didn't have a permit. And I'm like, dude, it's a pergola. I didn't even know I needed a permit. So now I have to go through the process of filling out the paperwork, paying for it, even though it's already built. But the whole concept is to make it more comfortable for my customers. When they come here, if it's wintertime, we all sit inside. They're sitting there. They're comfortable. There's 2 things I don't allow in my lounge: no politics, no religion, because those are the first 2 things that start wars, and we're not doing that. We are all here to escape the world, not bring the world's problems in with us. But during the spring, summer, and fall, I wanted them to have something nice to sit in outside. So it can comfortably sit 12 people plus. It's a nice overhang. I just put the roof on it. Just built the one lattice wall. I put in the railing because we are dog friendly. I do have dogs, a dog. Charlie is his name, little Shih Tzu, acts like a Doberman. Yep. It's gated in, so if you bring your dog, we just shut the gate and you can let your dog roam. But that's pretty much what's on the agenda. It's almost done. It's not fully done. I'd say it's about 90% there. I have a few last minute touches. I got to get all the vines and all the greenery up, but the whole concept is to make you feel like you're in the Mediterranean.
It's looking good, and I've got to say that, Aaron, it's looking really good because when I've been watching the videos, when you posted it on, of course, Instagram, and seeing it, and as soon as you start, it's always funny with how you started. Then, of course, it's Maintenance Monday, and then you're showing us what you're doing, of course, and everything. It's great because that's a great little catchy intro of getting it straight in and seeing it. and just seeing how it's going. And it looks absolutely gorgeous with what you're doing. So hats off to you on that, my brother.
I appreciate
and like
it.
I say,
I
if anyone
appreciate it.
hasn't seen the videos, then go and check out, of course, LaVega Cigars over on Instagram. You can see the videos of Aaron doing it, of course, and showing you as he's doing the videos and, of course, telling you which other podcasts he's coming on. So, of course, he's on with us tonight. Then he's going to be rejoining our friends, the Twisted. Well, I know Gibbs a little bit twisted and Andy's a little bit twisted. The Leaf Cutters, of course. So, big shout out to the Leaf Cutters, our friends and brothers. I know you're going to be joining them. And then, of course, Aaron's going to be joining as well, Turnbuckles and Stogies. So you'll be able to catch him there on Turnbuckles and Stogies as well.
Okay.
And we've sat down with them guys and had a great podcast. So this is one that I wanted to ask you, of course. And it goes back to pretty much music as well as your cigars. So, of course, we know you've got your cigars. But what album or song from your music days would you choose for each one of them cigars that you've got? What would be?
I would so for the Primo, I would probably go with a song called Friend. It was from the very first EP that we did as a band. That's the very first cigar that I did. The Secondo, I would go towards the next, let me see, next album, 2 or 3. I think it's a third EP we did. It's called Frequency. It was with Joe as our frontman. That's probably my favorite song on that particular EP. Just real catchy. I there's something about it. It's in the key of D. I don't know. Maybe it's the key. I don't know. But I love that song. The Terzo, I'd probably, oh man, I'd probably go with off of the From the Ashes album. I'd probably go with The Journey because that song was, it's a real catchy riff, real driving drums, real driving bass line. And that's kind of what happens when you're smoking that Terzo is like the more you smoke it, the more amped up you're getting because it changes. Each third, it goes into something completely different and it takes you on a journey. But once you get through the first 2 cigars and you're on the third cigar, the Terzo, you are on this journey. You're committed now. I would say, for the number 40, I'd probably go with Redemption off of the From the Ashes album because I wasn't sure how that cigar was going to turn out because I don't like Connecticut's, but I feel like it kind of had some redemption inside of it that it could stand with the rest of them and I could get Maduro smokers to smoke it. So I kind of felt good that Maduro smokers enjoyed that cigar. And with the Cane, I would probably say is a song called Taking Back Tomorrow off of the last record we did, which was called, the record was called Stitching the Torn. And the lyrics on that song, my brother actually wrote, and he wrote it for me. It's about just never giving up, just having that relentless passion to keep going. And those veterans that we have, and I don't care what country your veterans are from, veterans give it all for us. And
yeah,
that cigar just really plays into that song for me.
Yeah, that's great. It's great, like you said, of course, for the different songs. To, of course, the cigars. I just want to say, of course, to DH Cigars. So, of course, to DH and everyone, and thank you, of course, for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
and
what's up, bud?
Of course,
hey,
if you're only just coming on, of course, we've got Aaron on tonight from LaVega Cigars, and we're talking to Aaron. And I want to change script now, of course, because I like this. You're very outspoken, and I like this about you, Aaron, because I want someone to be outspoken in this market. I don't want the bullshit gatekeeping in that undercover thing where you're just looking over. You're not seeing the fullness. You've got that veil up and you're looking just under the veil. So, of course, we know the boutique cigar market. Incredible, competitive, as of right now, there's a lot of companies coming out. With so many brands fighting for the shelf space, what do you think's the biggest misconception people are having about running a boutique cigar company? And what was your biggest learning curve since launching LaVega, my brother?
When you ask that, are you talking from a consumer standpoint or from a manufacturer owner standpoint?
Yeah, is it like
So
if we had an idea to go do it, or
Yeah.
yeah, if
So
we
say
were
we-
looking to go
so say
do
we
it, or if
wanted to know more
we're the
on-
consumer looking at it.
Yeah. Basically, as a company,
Like
then
if I
also,
wanted to
of
go
course,
do it,
say for instance, or say for instance, with you doing it, of course, having your own cigar line, and now you're trying to get into, say, Neptunes, or you're trying to get into smoking, and they have got all this shelf space, as we know, it's got to have all. So, from both sides, if you can do for me, please, my brother. From both sides.
I would say from the consumer standpoint, I think the scales are a little bit tilted and in a very weird way. So let me see, release coming out. Remind me to get back to answer that.
Yep.
It's a lot of consumers, myself included, up until I started doing this, are a little hesitant, and this is, of course, in my experience, are a little hesitant on trying something they've never heard of, because there are so many brands coming out so fast. Are they rushing the process? Am I going to smoke a cigar that tastes like ammonia? And let's get down to where the bear shits. Is this going to be a waste of my money? And with the world going the way the world is going, people are watching their pennies. Right. And now, having been not just being in it, but over the last, 6-7 years, I make it a point that if I'm in a humidor and it's a band that I've never seen, I make it a point to buy that and try that. Like I have these journals now. All these this is actually a new one. It doesn't have anything in it yet. I actually sit down. I tape the band inside of it. I write down the price, the date, the strength, the rating, who it is. I put a story in it. I put all my tasting notes, what I thought, and I keep physical track of these. Now, all of these are on display in my lounge. People actually come in and read them, but I only keep the most current one on me. So I just finished the last book. I got to finish writing a couple more things, and I'm switching over to the 9th book. I make it a point to get stuff in there that I've never seen before, because I want to see what's out there. As a consumer, I want to know who's making what, because I don't care whose band's on it, bro. I love cigars. Like I don't give a fuck. I just want to smoke something really good. From a manufacturer standpoint, I think there's a lot of competition that doesn't need to be competition. And I don't subscribe to that theory that I'm trying to be competitive with you. Look, at the end of the day, my story is my story, not yours, not his, not hers. It's mine. My cigars, they were made by me, nobody else. I didn't have anybody else in mind when I made this stuff. So how are we in competition? You've got your own shtick. You've got your own thing you're doing. I'm not in competition with you. Are we fighting for shelf space? I guess, sure. Technically, yeah, we're fighting for shelf space. But the big thing for me is I'm not fighting for anything. I'm just making quality cigars. I'm interacting with people. I don't hide behind the smoke and mirrors. That's the term that we use. Smoke and mirrors. I don't hide behind that. I put it out there on film, on paper. This is who I am. You either like me or you don't. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm on a path to do this. I don't really care if people like me or not. I've spent my entire life being the underdog. Nothing's going to change now. I like to connect with people on a very real level, and I found that just being me is somehow attractive to people. And I think it's because the world is full of fake people. And I'm not saying all people, but the world is full of fake people. So me getting on there and doing me getting on there and doing my morning videos. And I mean, I started off in so many different ways. This is all kitchen, it's all kitchen humor. We called each other names. I mean, that was us telling you that we liked you. If I call you by your first name or, chef, it means I don't fucking like you. But if I call you by some off the wall nickname, you're one of us. So when I get on there and I say, hey, douches and douchettes, this is what we did in the kitchen. So the more I've noticed, like I do some of these big festivals, and I was down at a festival a couple of years ago in Kentucky, and this guy came up to my booth, and he was like, dude, I love your videos. And he caught me off guard because, I don't check numbers. I don't know how many likes, how many comments. I mean, if a comment comes through, I normally respond. But I was like, what video are you talking about? And he goes, every video that you bitch about the weather, because I call the snow cloud semen. And for whatever reason, people like that shit. Or like the rain, I call it sky urine. Or atmospheric ejaculate. I don't know. I come up with the dumbest shit. But people seem to really enjoy that because I'm just being real. So that's my thing. So it is hard in this industry because there are a lot of phenomenal boutique companies out there. But at the end of it all, I don't concentrate on it. I go meet with you face to face. We smoke, we break bread, we smoke together. And if you like my cigars, you bring them in. If you don't, I move on to the next one. It is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. That's a great point that you said there as well. I know, of course, Anthony did ask you about any limited releases, so let's get back to there. And, of course, limited releases, my brother.
So the current limited series that's out right now is the La Trilogia, and that is a Mexican San Andreas, Ecuadorian Connecticut barber pole. It is currently out for this year, and I go from February 4th to February 4th. The next one for next year, I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm still testing different batches, but I also have a new cigar coming out next year, which is called the number 61. It's from my dad. He passed away at 61 years old. So this will be more of a full body cigar because my dad, I mean, he smoked cool cigarettes, which are, nothing but menthol, strong cigarettes. Yeah. He drank coffee that looked like fucking tar. So this is going to be a strong cigar for him. But the new limited series, I don't know what it is for next year, but currently it is the La Trilogia.
Cool. So we've just gone over a little bit, of course, with this and different things. But of course, as we know now, the cigar industry is having some massive shifts over the last couple of years. Of course, between skyrocketing price hikes from legacy brands and a certain level of gatekeeping, that sometimes makes the community feel exclusive or intimidating to newer cigar smokers. The landscape's changing faster. Now, of course, as you as a boutique cigar owner who runs both a brand, also a lounge, what are your thoughts on where the industry is heading? How do you keep LaVega Premium, of course, sustainable without pricing out the everyday consumer? And how do we smash the gatekeeping mentality to keep the cigar community welcoming? So that's kind of three parts to that question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer this in reverse. How do we stop the gatekeeping? Honestly, brother, I don't know. That is, it's so far embedded, and not just in the cigar industry, it's embedded in the world. I don't even know where to begin on that. So I don't concentrate on that right now. That will eventually weed itself out. What was the first question that you asked?
So let me just post that comment. Go back to where I wrote it, because these are just ones that I wrote down today. So my first bit of that was, of course, as a boutique owner who runs both a brand and lounge, what are your thoughts on where the industry is heading? So where the industry is heading at the moment.
So I'll answer that one. So as a and I have to be careful because one of my podcasts that I did with the leaf cutters was already ripped apart by another podcast. So this is, of course, my opinion. Let me just state that right now. As a boutique cigar company, I think that there has been a shift going on. It's just been so quiet that a lot of, I call them legacy lounges. It's lounges that carry, the name brands that have been around for 20, 30 plus years. They're not really seeing because their consumers are not in the boutique world. So it has been changing for a while. As a lounge, I don't sell many legacy cigars, which really sucks because I handpicked every cigar to be in that lounge. And I have 2 cabinets. I have a boutique cabinet and I have a legacy cabinet. In order for you to get into the boutique cabinet, I have to know you, the owner, personally. Not only that, but I have to be able to stand by what you have. So everything in there is 100% handpicked. Like if I needed West Tampa's right now, I'll call Ricky himself and be like, bro, send me this and send me this.
Yep.
Done. If I want Blackbird, I call Jonas right now. Dude, send me this right now. And that's how it is with I've made these relationships as manufacturers, but it carries into the lounge. When it comes to the legacy, I think a lot of these people, including myself, we're looking for those cigars that are in our price range because everybody's raising their cost. I can say right now, I've never once raised my cost. The price of my cigars, I have $12 Toros and I have $9.50 Robustos. My prices are the same today as they were day one. The factory has never raised the prices. The tariffs only raised my cigars 5 cents a cigar. Matter of fact, I broke it out just to show. This is a documentation from the factory. 5 cents a cigar, my stuff went up. What is the purpose of raising my cigar cost for 5 cents? It's fucking retarded at the end of the day. So I've never done it. I've never done it because I'm not trying to be a billionaire doing this. I'm trying to make good shit so people can smoke it. But a lot of companies, they have far more than what I have. Okay, they have massive teams, they have huge overheads. So I can't really say I blame them, but some of these prices are getting out of hand. And as a lounge, the cost for me is going up, but the MSRP is not going up on certain brands. And professionally, I won't say who they are, but I just did an order yesterday. Wholesale cost for me was about $1,500. That was 4 boxes of cigars, dude. And the MSRP didn't go up one bit. My cost went up. The MSRP didn't go up. Yep. So every cigar that's in my lounge is marked at exactly MSRP. I can't stand when you go to lounges and oh man, like the Opus, right? You go to lounges and the Opus is $80, $100 a stick. Like, bro, those things are those are MSRP $29.95. Why are those things so damn expensive? Now, obviously, different areas have different taxes. I mean, I deal with it. Christ's sake, Ohio is like 80 cents per cigar tax. New York is fucking insane. I'll give you, for instance, my Robustos are $9.50 in the state of Pennsylvania. In New York, they're like $15.75 a stick. I about had a fucking heart attack when I saw them put that price tag on there. I'm like, dude, that is not a $16 stick. And he's like, in the state of New York, it is. I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna buy it. He goes, oh no, they'll buy it. Okay, they shouldn't have to do that. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So you've got a lot of jurisdiction to deal with that's affecting those prices. It's not just the manufacturer. Everybody wants to blame the manufacturer. It's really not just them. There's a lot of shit going on right now. Every state is doing their part to raise the prices.
$29.99.
This is the thing when people go on about it, and then of course the difference of a cigar from the States to here. So the factory smoke, for instance, you can get it for $2 to $3 in the States, NSRP. Here, NSRP for the Toro, you're looking at $15 over here for a factory smoke Toro. Yeah. So can you imagine your cigar from LaVega coming here? You're going to be looking at a $19 cigar. And that's because of taxes, importation, every single kind of bullshit fucking thing
Oh yeah.
that they can think of over here, and with having an importer and distributor, because of them bringing it to the UK, they want their cut. So they put more money on it. Then when they put more money on it, you've got your importation and everything, they'll sell it to the shop and say, right, so this cigar, we need you to sell it for, say, $15, for instance. Well, the shop then have got to make their money back for what they are paying to get the cigars. So once they put their markup on, it's now $19 to $20 a cigar.
Well, I know.
I saw one cigar just price rocket I have at the moment. It's crazy.
Ricky Rodriguez with West Tampa. I just saw because I'm a huge fan of the Sahakians. Okay, so they have Davidoff of London, and they also have the Edward Sahakian Lounge. Ricky was just brought into. I want to say, I think it was the Davidoff Lounge. Well, whichever one, he was brought into it, bro. I could only fucking imagine how much that's, and because they brought in the West Tampa Reds, which I also have, and I think I have those at $12 or $13 a cigar. Dude, you're talking like $40 over there, bro.
Yeah.
Don't me tell you how much for the red, the white, and the black alone over here, because Ricky's already in the English market. With his core line. Of course, he's got the Devil Crab, and he's also got the Circle of Life over here. So if we go on the core line, we're looking at roughly $18 a cigar for the core line over here. Now, if we go to the Circle of Life, we're looking at $25 to $30 for the Circle of Life over here. The Devil's Crab,
is that dollars or pounds?
I'm going dollar range.
You're going dollars?
Okay. Dollar range of what it is.
Yeah.
So if we go to the Devil Crab, as we know, of course, that short little Fecto,
that tiny little
you're
thing.
looking at $25. Yeah, you're looking at $25 over here.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
And that's just a crazy markup.
It's crazy.
And it's a shame because we see boutique cigar companies come and they want to keep their line of cigars at that reasonable price for everyday cigar smokers. And as soon as they come here, they see skyrocket. And they're like, shit, what? This is what someone's paying? We've sat down with people. I'm not going to name names. But we've sat down with people and I've explained the prices. And they're like, how much are you paying for my cigar in the UK? And then you tell them, and they're like, you fucking crazy. And I'm like,
it's ridiculous. I would be appalled. It's one of the reasons why I really want to get into the international market, but not at the expense of my integrity, and I'm not doing that, dude. That is not fair to you guys, because I'm going to be real with you. My cigar is not a $20 cigar. It was never designed to be a $20 cigar. It was designed to be a $12 cigar, and I have a hard time having them in New York at I think the $12 Toros were like $18 or $19. It tears me up inside to even see that. But I can't help what these local, these state governments are doing. Like, that's out of my hands at that point.
Yeah,
it tears me up.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy where policy is at the moment. And of course, we know there's, and like I said, we've seen, you're outspoken, and I like that about you, of course. No punches pulled. Now, as we know, there's some good side to the cigar community. There's also some backstabbing.
Douchebags.
A lot of bullshit in the community. Well, if you've worked for this company, I ain't selling you tobacco. But if you haven't, oh yeah, I'll sell you. Or you've got to send somebody else. And we know, of course, it's the gatekeeping bullshit, the pushbacks, the blacklisting, all the rest. And sometimes it can be, I would say, the old guard. And when I say the old guard, I'm on about the ones that have been doing this for a long, long time. So when you started, Aaron, did you see any pushback from anyone? Or was everyone welcoming if you went to a cigar factory and said, look, I'm bringing this cigar, can I buy tobacco from you? where you're like, yeah, sure, we can do business, or was it a case of, well, we don't really know you, so nah, fuck off, go somewhere else?
Well,
did you see any of that, or
no? Because the way LaVega was created, I went to this event over in Warren, Ohio. It was over at the Grand Resort, and if you're ever in that area, go check out the Grand Resort. It's a phenomenal fucking place. They carry my cigars. They sunk $1.2 million into the lounge alone. It's a big resort hotel, and they just did a phenomenal job. Joe Vaughn is in charge of the cigars, and he's been a huge supporter of mine. So back when I had my own podcast, whatever you want to call it, vlog, I filmed in a studio setting, and he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, I have Casa Cuevas coming in. You should come film." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have my cameras and shit, so I'm just going to come enjoy myself." I always got the table right next to the main table because I am very interactive with people, and I want to talk to the owners. I want to pick their brains because it helps me because I value knowledge, I value information. So this was back in 2022, and Alec Cuevas, Luis Jr.'s son, he had just created his first blend. It was called the Sangre Nueva, and I clipped the cap on it. I took a dry draw. And I looked at my buddy Evan. I said, "Dude, this fucking thing tastes like beef jerky, straight up beef jerky." So Alec comes walking in front of the table, and I said, "Hey, bro, can I stop you real quick?" He said, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Why does this taste like beef jerky?" And he looked at me, and he's like, "I can't believe you got that." And I was like, "Oh, well, sit down. Let me tell you who I am, what I've done." 3 hours later, we had a handshake, and their factory was now making my cigars. That was the day LaVega Cigars was born. So I never went to anyone else. I had a handshake with these guys, and they've been making my cigars ever since.
That's great.
There you go, man.
That's great. And it's a shame as we see. It's a shame as we see some of this, of course, in there, and it's great. There's, of course, you didn't get that. Now, one of my things kind of riles me up. I don't know if it riles you up as well, and it's about these secret vintage tobaccos. Do they really exist? And from your perspective, is there these secret rare vintage tobaccos, or is it all hype? Is it all fluff to just say, look, we got this new cigar and it's got this secret thing in it? And
I can't honestly tell you about the secret vintage. I can tell you there are factories that sit on tobacco and will bring up Marifel for this, because not only have I smoked them,
Jeremiah,
I enjoy them. But the story was that this tobacco was like 22 or 23 years old. It was meant for a project. He never did it. He passed away. Jeremiah came in and said, "Let's put together a blend." They called it the Richard, and it went out. I've smoked it. I bought 2 boxes of it at $880 a box of 10, and they were damn good. They weren't, in my opinion, worth $880, but they were an exceptional cigar. I don't know about the secret side of it, but I can say that I deal with it myself, because I am looking for that tobacco that maybe just someone forgot that they had. And now it's 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. There is something to be said about tobacco that has just been sitting and aging and aging and aging. But to put that kind of price tag on it, I wouldn't put that price tag on it. But then again, that depends on what the factory is going to charge me, because they're the ones who have to take care of this. It's just like wine. When I used to be real heavy into wine, I would go around and I would taste brand new vintages, virgin vintages. Something like, if it was in 2005, I would taste everything that came out in 2005. If I tasted that and I was like, you know what, that's fucking good. This definitely has aging potential. I'll buy a case, and then I will personally rotate them and maintain them and take care of them. So I'm doing what somebody else would have done. And then 20 years later, now that bottle is worth an atrocious amount of money because you had somebody who had to take care of that. You can't just throw them in a basement and say, okay, well, there you go. You actually have to take care of it. Well, time is money, right? They have to take care of it. It costs money to take care of it. I just happen to do it myself. So when you're talking about vintage tobaccos, yeah, man, there's a lot of time and care that goes into that. Do I think that it's worth the cost that some of these manufacturers are charging? Fuck no. But it's what is it worth to you? Is it worth $40 to you? Do you want to try it that bad? If you do, go try. I will. I'll absolutely try it. Now, whether I buy the second, third, or fourth cigar is going to depend on how good that thing is. But sometimes you can't put a price on that experience.
I get that. I get that. And you know something? There's some cigars that I've been given, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's rare, it's vintage. You're never gonna get it again." And one was Dunhill. Of course, as we know now with Dunhill used to make cigars that don't know more. It's all pipes and pipe tobacco. So when I got given these rare ones, it was like, well, how much were they? Then I realized the price, of course, the tobacco that was used in it. I knew it's never going to be out again. I didn't want to smoke them, but I did. And then Grumpy pulls one out and he goes, "Brother, I've got this done." I'm like, "Don't smoke it. Don't smoke it. Keep it. I've smoked mine. Don't smoke it. It's rare. You're never going to get another one."
Got it.
And
still sitting in there.
I don't like these high-priced cigars. I don't like the fact there's what we are seeing now. There's a lot of different companies where they're bringing out the $100, $200, and it's a case of the hype market around it. And that's what it is. It's the hype to get you to spend your money. Do I enjoy Opus X's? No, I do not enjoy Opus X's, and I will not pay the price for Opus X. Do I enjoy the God of Fire? Yeah, I do enjoy God of Fire, but that's still a dear price. Do I enjoy Padrons? No, I don't. I won't pay Padrons money because I don't enjoy them. The thing is with me, I'd rather go and look at boutique cigar companies that are making fantastic cigars in a price range that I can afford and go and give them a try, like yourself, like Balladoma, and of course, different people that we know. I want to go and try them cigars because I know the people. We spoke to the people, like speaking to you. We go for that, and this is why we do this. We go for people that we see, we get on with, we hear the passion of them, because we want to try them cigars. We want to smoke them. And the fact of it is, if we go, you know what? Yeah, this cigar, we can go to the person and say, you know what? This cigar didn't really situate my palate, so what would you recommend for my palate? And they go, yeah, sure. But even still, if you've had a bad cigar off us, if there's a crack or something, get in touch with us. We'll resend you another one. And that's the great thing, where you don't see it with the legacy ones. And I saw a post just the other day, a Diamond Crown cigar by J.C. Newman. And it was so wet the tobacco was inside. The guy cut it, and as he got the tobacco, he wringed it out, and it was dripping of water. It got that much moisture in. He messaged J.C. Newman and then get nothing back, because at the end of the day, a lot of the legacy companies, they don't care about people because they're still making the money.
That's shocking, because I know Bobby Newman personally, and he's a phenomenal guy. He's also on the board of directors of Dogs Inc. And I bet you if somebody would have reached out to him, they would have had new cigars immediately. Now, I can't speak, for sure on that, but that just does not sound like something he would do. Sure, maybe his team, because, they're under certain rules that they have to follow. But that's why I said I do think the industry's taking a turn. I don't hide behind cameras and everything else. Like, dude, I've said, you could call my business line, and I'm the one who answers the phone. You come to my lounge, you can walk in the warehouse and take a look at everything you want. I can't tell you how many times one of my guys is working in the lounge, and they'll call me, and Evan's in there right now watching it so I can be on this podcast with you. And he'll be like, hey, there's a guy here who really wants to meet you. Okay, give me 20 minutes. I will literally get cleaned up and come down and sit and smoke with you. Now, what other lounge are you going to do that with? Like, you know, I'm a big fan of Rocky Patel. You ain't going to see him at Burn. You can go to one of his Burn lounges and you ain't going to see him. So Michael Herklotz from Ferio Tego, great guy. Him and I, we've done a couple interviews together. We don't always see eye to eye because he is very old school. I'm very new school when it comes to this industry. But they always say that he is the best dressed in the industry. I want to be known as the most accessible in this industry. And that is my hospitality at work. You come to my lounge and you want to talk with me, as long as I'm in the state and I'm not visiting other lounges, I will drive down here to sit and smoke with you. More than likely, if you come here, unless I'm out of town, I'm here in the lounge working. You can come and actually talk to me, right? Like, I don't hide from anybody. I have a whole team, but you want me, you got me. Period.
Yeah. That's a great thing. That's a great thing because there's a lot of people where they do hide. They hide away. Their reps are out, and it's the rep like you see. You don't see the person behind it. And the best way, and I don't mean no offense by it, is you don't want to see the monkey. You want to see the organ grinder, and that's the best way of me saying it. You want to see the proper guy behind it. You don't want to go and speak to the monkey because the monkey hardly knows the stuff half the time. At least if you go to the organ grinder, you can go and ask them the questions. And that's the way I. You can,
but I will tell you this. So it is a little difficult though. The bigger you get, like I did mention Rocky. I'll say this: he can't visit every single lounge. There's just no way. This dude is just busy beyond.
That's not going to happen.
But I can say when he goes to a lounge, he gives you his undivided attention, plain and simple. But the bigger you get, the harder it is. And that's actually one of my worries. The bigger LaVega gets, the less I'm going to be able to give that hospitality. Like I did this one event down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the event was going on. We were there for about 4 or 5 hours. We're only supposed to be there 2, but I can't shut my mouth and I just start talking to people. There was this one guy, he was going through some shit. I never did find out what was going on with him, but you could tell something was going on with him. And I sat with him in that booth and we just talked for hours. It's just in me to do that. And I didn't realize what I was doing until afterwards. And then I publicly give out my business line. This is June. This is Men's Mental Health Month. I say it all the time. You got something going on, you need to talk. 724-699-5258. Call me. I will answer. Let's bullshit. You got a problem? Let's talk.
Yep.
It's just not everybody's like that.
That's the thing.
No,
everybody's not. And I'm very fortunate enough. I've got Grumpy, Matthew, of course, the group that we speak to over on TikTok. So, of course, they're the ones.
Yeah, a lot of them are in here.
We get chat to them and stuff, and it takes us away. But let's go on about the reviewer culture and this pay to play. So there's a lot of chatter around now, of course, among consumers about the honesty of cigar reviewers, the feeling that some media outlets and influencers operate on a pay-to-play basis. What's your thought on it, my brother? What's your honest thought on this pay-to-play and this fake cigar media shit that's out?
I think cigar media is beyond important. We just discussed that when I was on Simply Stogie's podcast last week. Cigar media is a necessity, in my opinion. However, I don't do pay to play. I dealt with enough of that shit with my band where we would get booked on, because we were the new guy. We would get booked on a show and we had to go sell tickets. And I'm like, I'm in fucking LA. I don't know anybody in LA. How the hell am I going to sell these tickets? But you had to, or you owed the money.
Yep.
And I'm rubbed the wrong way with this because of what I had to go through. So let's call it PTSD from my music days. I don't do it. I don't send cigars out to be reviewed. Personally, I think reviews are stupid when it comes to cigars, food. Why? Because it comes down to your individual taste. Just because so-and-so says it's a 95 rated cigar doesn't mean you're going to like it. I think you should try it. but only you can make that decision. However, the ratings do help with the overall consumer because at least it gives you an idea of where a cigar stands. You may not agree with the rating, with the point system, but it gives you an idea that, hey, look, this thing was rated and this company gave it a 95, this company gave it a 91, this one gave it a 93. Obviously, it's worth me trying, but don't swear by these things. I will never be in Cigar Aficionado magazine. I think back when they started, they had gold. I personally think they became the Playboy of the cigar industry. And this is not just my opinion. This is from other manufacturers that I know personally that have actually gotten into Cigar Aficionado, paid to be in there, had the articles done, and they just get nothing. They just get nothing of it. What I like doing when I talk about good cigar media, I like coming on shit like this. This is where I believe this is the honest side of cigar media. When I was on with Cigar Dojo last week. I was on with Simply Stogies. I mean, I was on with Leaf Cutters. I mean, I have done so many damn podcasts. This is the heart of the cigar media, is doing these podcasts because it's not based on a rating system. I mean, sure, maybe you guys are smoking my cigars, but you're just getting to know the manufacturers that you bring on. I tell my reps this: when you go into a lounge and you go to try to place LaVega cigars, do not try to sell these cigars. Tell them my story. If they like my story, they will try the cigar. The cigar will speak for itself. You're either going to like it or you're not. There's no in between. And if you don't like it, but you're like, you know what? I know a lot of these guys will buy this. This fits them. It's not for me personally, but they will buy this. You make the decision at that point. Don't sell the cigar. Cigars are cigars are cigars. Everybody's got at the end of the day, it's tobacco. It's how the manufacturer put that compilation of tobaccos together. Sell the story. If you like my story, you'll smoke my cigars.
And Phil's making me laugh. He's put, screw New York. Yeah, brother. I know New York at the moment is going through a crazy time, and this leads me into the next thing that I wanted to ask. So, how do you feel about generational tobacco bans? The whole process of what,
that
of course,
on my mind.
Massachusetts have just done, of course, with what New York's done. England have already passed it, and it's coming into effect, of course, the 1st of January 2027, where the legal age isn't going to be 18 no more to smoke in England. It's now going to be 19, and then it's going to increase every single year.
I can sum this up real quick for you. I don't fucking like being told what to do, period.
Damn right.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there when you created this law. You didn't fucking consult with me when you created this law. I sure as shit ain't going to abide by this. And how does that go with drugs? You said that cocaine's illegal. Doesn't mean motherfuckers don't do it. So stop putting your personal agenda on things. Tobacco has been around. The Native American, we don't even know how far back it goes, man. Let's just say tobacco's been around forever.
Way back.
It goes way back. If people want to do it, they, at the end of the day, they don't care. Dude, I've been smoking. I smoked cigarettes when I was 15 years old. Back then, you couldn't buy them unless you were 18. I still got them.
Yep.
Exactly.
There's still ways to get them. Now, as a lounge, I 100% follow the law. I'm gonna state that right now.
Yep.
If you walk into my lounge and you do not have a 21 and older ID, I will not sell to you. But if you're asking my personal opinion, I think it's absolute bullshit. Stop telling people what to do. As if it's making them happy, be done with it. Now, I'm not condoning like, oh, you're gonna pick up and you're gonna go murder somebody. That's just fucking stupid. I think you need to be shot on the spot if you murder somebody. But you're talking about smoking a cigar, bro. Come on. You're far more worse shit happens when you drink and drive. Like, it's a cigar. Relax.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to flip out and go on a terror attack because you have a cigar.
Yeah, this has been the thing. This has been the thing.
At the end of it all, if you're smoking a cigar, man, you're relaxing, right? You're relaxing.
That's right.
There's been more deaths on the road from alcohol or people on drugs that have caused more deaths than anyone who smokes a cigar driving or someone who smokes a cigarette driving. We know the differences with a cigar. Fucking hell, Grump, look at that fucking ash. Holy shit, bro. We know the differences, of course, with cigars to cigarettes. Cigars are all natural tobacco. Cigarettes, crap.
Chemicals, tar. It's all kind of shit.
Into it.
Yeah, bunches.
And we've spoken to thoracic surgeons who've said most of the surgeries they've done is from people that have dipped cigarette smokers. It's not from cigar smoking. But then you've got to look at yourself as a company. You've got to look at the importers, your reps, the factories, the box factory, the band makers, and everything. It's a big effect on them. And this is what I've been saying here in England. I wasn't consulted. I put a paper in, which was a 4-paged paper that I put with evidence from the United States, from clinical researchers, from cigar makers that I spoke to that fought it there with the FDA, and I support all the supporting evidence. I sent it to the government here in the UK. They read it and give me a message saying, thank you. They hadn't even fucking read that paper. Because if they had, I would have been down there with all the cigar companies here in the UK. Because the biggest thing what pissed us off in the UK, and it was stated, none of the cigar companies that are here in the UK, none of them flew from the United States or Nicaragua or Honduras or Dominican Republic and fought it against our government. Now, as we see in the United States, they turn up, they fight it. You see the companies. The small guys over here and the small girls over here that have got the cigar lounges and importers and distributors haven't got that kind of money to fight it against government. So it got passed. But I'm hoping and praying as they see the same kind of shit what kicked off in New Zealand. And they go, well, hang on a minute, we can't be doing trades. We can't be bringing their product. We haven't got this kind of trade. Now we're seeing a black market society. We're seeing people bringing in these cigars, and they're not proper cigars. They've got this rabbit droppings and all this crap and shit in it because we haven't properly checked it in, because people are bringing it from here and everywhere. And this is the thing. I think what's going to happen, it's going to implode on them. I think it's going to blow up on their face, and it's a case of them. We say, "Oh, we fucking told you so. We told you this was going to happen, but would you listen?" No, because what you were doing, you want to take our human rights. As soon as I turned 18, I knew two things. I could drive a car. I could go and gamble. I could go out drinking. I could watch pornography if I wanted to watch pornography.
Yeah.
I was already drinking at the age of 13 in pubs because I was known. I was drinking at the age of 13. I didn't touch cigars until my back end of my 20s. And this is the thing, we aren't seeing young kids standing outside school with a Toro, smoking a Toro for an hour. What we are seeing is they are picking up the dreaded vapes and they're smoking them. Or they're nicking the mum or dad's cigarettes or the grandparents' cigarettes, and that's what they're smoking. But now the generation from when we were kids, and we were, if you got a fag, mate, can I have a cigarette off you? Where we were having a cigarette off people, and we're going around the back of the school and having one. Now it's the vape culture. The vape culture's taken on. And what they don't realize is the amount of effects the vape is having on people. It needs to be segregated, and I've said this. Better education. Better education.
And that's what they're fighting over here. So, like, you know, you get the big dogs like Fuentes and Padrones and you know, Rocky Patel, and they're all in Washington, and they're doing a stand-up job fighting for us, and they keep winning at every turn because it comes down to one thing. The nicotine, this is how I think the governments are roping it in. the effect of nicotine has a negative effect. However, you have to look at it for what it really is. You're talking about pharmaceutical nicotine. Pharmaceutical nicotine is highly addictive. It is a drug, not to mention all the other chemicals that are in these cigarettes and vape. And as someone who used to smoke cigarettes and vape, I know what it is. Dude, my fucking alarm would go off in the morning and I would grab my vape before I turned the alarm off. I was highly addicted to that shit. I don't wake up in the morning and be like, man, I need a cigar. I don't do that. Sometimes I get through the first half of my day and be like, shit, I never smoked my breakfast cigar. Maybe I should do that. It's leaves wrapped in leaves wrapped in leaves. And if you say you're anti-nicotine, don't eat a fucking tomato then, because there's nicotine in tomatoes, there's nicotine in onions. Like how deep do you want to go? How much do you want to be schooled today? Because I don't talk a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff because I'm not as informed as I should be, but I spent a long time in food. I know what's in this shit. And if you're worried about what's in a cigar, then let me take you to school. But at the end,
they hear it from me all the time.
It's just getting ridiculous. I mean, of course, this is all my personal opinion, but it's just getting to the point where it's beyond ridiculous. Just leave shit alone. Stop fucking with people.
Quit touching stuff.
It isn't the thing. The thing is, it's even said when we smoke a cigar in our bloodstream, there's only 10 grams of nicotine that is in our bloodstream, which is nothing. That's nothing. Even if we're eating tomatoes, onions, eggplant, potatoes, and everything, the trace of nicotine is so low from them. Mm. And this is the thing: where you are getting more nicotine in you, is being said, is the pharmaceutical companies that are putting in the addictiveness, the fact of the vapes being the addictiveness, the chemicals. That is what's causing these problems. Natural nicotine, natural tobacco, there is so many benefits. We know you put a nicotine patch on a painful area, it goes. It's being used, and this is the thing. I can go 2 to 3 days. I can go 6 weeks without having a cigar. And I enjoy a cigar. It's my cigar yoga. I go and sit in the garden with the dogs. I put the music on. I light that cigar up. I take that regime of doing it and I just calm. I sit with my brothers. I sit with you tonight, Aaron. I sit with my sisters of the Leaf. And we sit and we jest and we have a laugh. We have a talk. I feel charged up. When I used to drink, I'd wake up with a stonking hangover. I'd have a cracking, horrible stomach the next day. I just didn't want to do nothing. I have a cigar and I'm like, I go bed, I get up the next morning, I'm happy, motivated, I'll go a couple of hours, probably go out with the wife, walk the dogs, I'll have a cigar as I'm walking the dogs. I enjoy it. But to be told...
And everybody does. Everybody does.
To be told at our age now, as grown-ass adults, well, we're going to put this generational tobacco ban in. But what we're going to do, we're increasing the prices and you're going to pay for it. Yeah. So our next future generations don't do it. Well, hang on a minute. I get your point on it, why you want to do it and stop our future generations from smoking. But why is it we've now got to have the consequences? Is we're old enough to smoke. Why is it we've got these price increases? Why is it we're paying for it because it's something we enjoy? And it pisses me off. And I've had a full-blown debate on this for weeks on weeks. But a fun question now, man. It's gonna make you think, my bro. And don't get me wrong, you can call me a cunt if you want to call me a cunt, because you're probably going to be scratching your head. Five people, alive or dead, brother, that you'd love to smoke a cigar with. 5 people, alive or dead.
5 people. I'd start off with my dad. I think if he were still around to see what I've been able to do, I think he would have really enjoyed himself. Maybe his stress levels would have been low. He would have never had the stroke and he would have never died. So he would be the first one.
Yeah.
Controversially, I would have loved to have smoked a cigar with Castro because the motherfucker loved his cigars.
Yep.
I don't like all the shit he did, but I would love to talk cigars with the guy. Churchill, he's another one. That fool, good lord, right, fucker?
Yeah.
What's the other one? Who is Ulysses S. Grant, big cigar smoker, and then of course the cigar kingpin himself, George Burns. Would love to have smoked a cigar with him.
Yep,
Or 10.
that's great. You know something. That's
Good deal.
great answers there, and that's the thing. And you know something, I want to say a great big thank you tonight because you know something, I've really enjoyed sitting down with you, and we've definitely got to do this again, my bro. Because you know something,
I'm all down,
it's been
man.
great, and
Yeah, man. Definitely.
you know something, we wish you all the best because you know something, I like how you are. At the end of the day, there's no punches thrown. You're honest,
Right.
and this is the thing, and this is what we need. This is what we need in this market. We don't need to see these gatekeepers. Like I said before, we don't need. Well, I've got 143 blends, and I blend for everybody. Well, who do you blend for them? Because you don't really tell us. And
Bro,
I'm not gonna mention his fucking name, but he's a douchebag. Yes.
I'll tell you right now, I blend for me. It's the same thing when I was in the kitchen, same thing when I was in the recording studio. I make stuff that I enjoy in hopes that other people will share in the creation. The moment you start blending for other people is the moment you lose sight of what you're doing. I'm just trying to make shit that I like, and I know there's plenty of people out there that like what I like. So, yeah, I am blending for other people, but I start with, do I like this? Because if I don't, I'm not going to release it. I'm not going to put out something that I wouldn't smoke. That's just stupid.
No. Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
And
you
this
talked
is the
about,
thing.
not pulling punches. I ruffle a lot of feathers, man. If you talk to my mother, she will tell you he wasn't raised like this. No, I was not raised like this. But you know what? The world made me this, and the world didn't apologize for what it made me. So I'm not going to apologize for how I am. At the end of the day, what I really stick up for, it's not the underdog. I stick up for the people who are having injustice done to them. I don't like authority. I don't like people telling you what to do. I mean, don't be a douchebag and go out there and hurt people. Enjoy your life. You get one crack at this life. Enjoy it. That's my big at the end of the day, you have to enjoy your life. I don't think of LaVega Cigars and LaVega Lounge as a business. I think of it as a passion. I run it like a business because I have to. I honestly couldn't even tell you how many accounts I have. I couldn't tell you what my sales are. I don't know. I don't fucking care. All I care about is, are my lounges happy? Are their customers happy? If they are, they reorder. If they're not, I try to fix that for the next time. I've fucked up a lot in this industry so far. I've made mistakes. I learned my lessons. I try to make good going forward. At the end of the day, I don't want to lose the passion. I lost the passion in culinary. I lost the passion in music. I figured out why I lost that passion, and I refuse to do it in this. I love this. I love this product so much because this right here, this is what this industry is about. I'm not addicted to cigars. I'm addicted to the culture. I'm addicted to the fellowship. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, Democrat, Republican, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. I don't care. At the end of the day, what we care about is, are you enjoying your cigar? No, you're not. Then pick a new cigar and enjoy that motherfucker. That's what we care about.
Right.
Yep.
Damn.
Amen.
Exactly.
Amen to that one.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly. And that's the thing. You know something. When you have the time and you sit down and smoke a cigar, it's a great time. And the thing is, there's so much craziness in the world. When we have a cigar, it takes us away from the craziness. And this is the thing. There shouldn't be no backstabbing. There shouldn't be no gatekeeping. There shouldn't be no politics. And we've seen a lot. And like you said, if my mum was to turn around and say about me, she'd go, yeah, he doesn't watch his P's and Q's. He'll swear. He doesn't give a shit. If someone wrongs him, he'll burn the fucking house down. And he doesn't care who he burns down. That's me. And the thing is, there's a lot in this market that are going to see the truth because we have been wronged. And the thing is, there is companies out there, and I'm seeing a lot of them over today that are slowly running away. They're hiding. Well, why are you hiding? Well, we know why you're hiding, because the truth is coming out. When the truth comes out, there's going to be more people that disappear. There's going to be podcasts that disappear. There's going to be companies that disappear. There's going to be a federation that disappear. So watch the space, because it's coming. There's going to be a true all, and it's coming. And God help it when it drops, because I'm going to be the one that drops the mic. But from me, thank you, Aaron, for joining us. Stay smoky. Grumpy Matthew, I'm going to pass it over to you, Bear.
Well, Aaron, thank you for coming on. I've only smoked the one LaVega cigar so far, and it was very nice. I will be
Appreciate
picking
that.
up some more. He hasn't said it yet, but feel free to hang out for a couple minutes after we go offline. And as I always say, don't start none, won't be none. Some people never fucking listen.
Yeah. That deaf one over there. Anyway, but no, man, I appreciate you being here. The forthcomingness, answering everything, and not pulling punches, man, just laying it out there. I like that. And yes, now that I have the link, I have to get those cigars. I do apologize for that. But yeah, man, welcome back anytime. 'Cause like you said, this is what it's about. Getting together, chilling, sharing it, getting it out there. That's what it's about. But I always end up, man. I love you.
No,
The Father loves you too. But if he's not driving the bus this year, you better switch seats, because the ride's already bumpy, and it's just going to get that much more bumpier. So you'll want to hold on, let him drive. Catch me later.
well, I can tell
and
you
of course
guys
we will
this. I'll tell you guys this, a piece of advice that my dad gave me, and this will help a lot of people in this life. It surely helped me. When something goes wrong, ask yourself one question: can you control it? And if the answer is no, why the fuck are you worried about it? Just enjoy yourself is all I can tell you.
Exactly.
There you go.
Don't let shit live rent free in your head. Everybody's got attitudes. Everybody's got their way of thinking. The way I get along with everybody, because if you look at the people who sit at my table, we are from all walks of life, all different views.
That's it.
We have a common respect. I respect I may not agree with you, but I have a common respect for you as my fellow man. At the end of the day, don't let that bullshit get in between you. Just be a decent human. What I just said on Simply Stogie's podcast the other night: don't fuck with people. If you don't fuck with them, they won't fuck with you. It's simple.
Yep. And that's the thing. And I'm glad you just said it. Don't fuck with me. I'm going to fuck with you. But if you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you even more. And that's true. And it's a shame people don't listen to that one. But of course, we will be back live next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific, and midnight in the UK, of course. So we do apologise to everyone in the UK, but if I'm up, you're up. And we will catch you next week. But Aaron, yet again, my brother, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Go and check out LaVega Cigars on Instagram. Go and drop him a message. Go check him out on Instagram. Thank you from us. We'll catch you all next week. Stay safe. And thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoy.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
From the depths of the internet, a podcast did arise. A trio of loons with cigars in their eyes. They've invaded the world with their smoky surprise. The Cigar Loons, they're oh so wise. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter. Their stories unfold from the finest blends to the wildest tales. The Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. With their witty banter and infectious glee, they've captured hearts, you see. They're more than just smokers, they're a family, united by cigars, a brotherhood free. Invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter. Their stories unfold from the finest blends to the wildest tales. The Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. They've got the knowledge, the passion, the flair, a podcast powerhouse beyond compare. So light up a stogie and join the affair. The Cigar Loons are always there. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter. Their stories unfold from the finest blends to the wildest tales. The Cigar Loons never fail to prevail.